Well, hello, hello. Welcome to day 5. I'm so excited that you guys are here. Let me get my banners all up. All right, we are in the Hopeless to Happy crash course. Day 5, our final day. I love this so much that I'm going to miss it a ton, and I won't be doing it again until December, which kind of makes me sad. So welcome. I think we're just getting some people onto Instagram. This has been a really cool experience because for the very first time, I have live streamed this through Facebook, through Instagram, and through YouTube. So really in an attempt to make it more convenient for people. I know not everybody is on Facebook. And so I thought, you know what, let's see if we can figure the workaround on this. And I think I successfully did it. So if you know somebody who could really benefit from this information, just know that there's multiple places that they can go back and rewatch this. Like I said, it's on the Tracy Plushcourt YouTube channel. It's in the Student Union, which is the free private Facebook group. And it is on Instagram. So it's also under the Tracy Plushcourt Instagram page. So lots and lots of platforms to be worried about. Thank God I have help in that arena. I think I would be a complete fail if I had to do all that myself. So I'm so excited that you guys are here. I'm just going to give it one more quick minute just to recap where we have been and where we're at. So this has been a 5-day crash course. I know it feels like you are drinking from a fire hose. There's so much information. And if I'm really being honest, I had such a hard time figuring out what it is that I needed to whittle down into the crash course. There's so much information. There's so many concepts that I teach my clients that are so incredibly valuable to have to make that decision of what it is to share with you. I don't want to keep anything from you, but of course we are limited on time. And I really want to give you enough information to make a decision. So I think I've done that, but if I haven't, please reach out with any questions you have. I have a couple openings this weekend for consults. I can jump on a call with you for 20 minutes and answer any of your questions. If you have questions that just need a quick answer, feel free to message me. You can text me, you can message me through Facebook, whatever feels good to you. I'm happy to answer those kind of questions. But I really did have the mission of answering as many questions through this crash course as I possibly could, but undoubtedly I've missed a few things. So I have taken you from where you're at currently, from a personal standpoint, where you're at with your weight, where you are physically, emotionally, and mentally. And then I asked you to decide where it is that you want to be in 6 weeks and where do you want to be in 6 months. Now, I love that part. I am such a futuristic person. I love to dream. I love to think about possibility. But you know what? I'm also a realist. So I also like to think about probability. And we'll talk a little bit more about that today. But then I shared with you what the 3 pillars are of getting to your natural weight. And that includes making a decision ahead of time. So you create a protocol that incorporates food for fuel. When you are eating, it includes choosing the right foods that fuel you. And then it also incorporates a level of fasting. Now, I identified or defined what fasting means so that there isn't any sort of misinformation on that. It's simply just extending the time in between your meals so that you get the result that you're looking for. And then we talked about how to pull it all together. And today we're talking about how to self-coach, which is truly the Mac Daddy of the 3 pillars. It really is. It's the one thing that I think every single weight loss program out there neglects to include. And the reason why I know that is because most people do not have sustainable results. And for good reason. those businesses are out there to make money, right? So they want to keep you coming back. Same with the different types of prescription drugs out there that help the people who have diabetes. They don't talk about how to take control of the situation. They talk about how to buy a prescription drug. And that too is on purpose, but you can take control. And that's what this crash course is here for. It's to equip you so that you have all of the information that you need to make the best decisions for you. Okay, so without any further ado, we are going to talk about self-coaching. So if you haven't downloaded the workbook, you got to get into the student union. It's pinned to the top. All you got to do is download it and print it. I promise you, this will be your go-to information for years to come. Okay, so be comprehensive. Take good notes. Put it in your own words. That's how it's going to become very meaningful to you. Okay, so what is self-coaching? I would say it is a 3-part process that includes a thought download. Now, I incorporate this into my daily non-negotiable practice. It takes time to get there, but once you start to see the benefits of a thought download, it like exponentially touches every part of your life. And so I want you to really shoot for making this a daily practice. Every day, there is no wrong way to do a thought download. I'll tell you what it's really not. It's not really journaling. It's not a diary. It's not meant for anybody else to read. It is simply a way for you to get the chaos, all of the thoughts that are in your head, out of your head and onto paper. Why? Because we want to be able to be objective about those thoughts. Now, when all of those thoughts are going a million miles an hour in your mind, chaos is probably the most perfect word I can think of to describe it. It's very hard to be objective about those thoughts, right? It's really hard to just grab one and look at it and ask yourself good questions because there's so many of them going on. And on average, we have 60,000 thoughts a day. 60,000 thoughts a day make us feel 60,000 emotions a day. I mean, can you believe that? And then we only behave from our feelings. So if we've got 60,000 of those going on a day, it's very possible that there are some that are not serving us. They're not getting us the results that we want. And by doing a thought download, getting those thoughts out of our mind and onto paper is the fastest way to feel in control because you can be objective. You can see all of those thoughts. You can do this in a lot of different ways. You can put a circumstance at the top of the paper and just write everything that comes to mind, all the feelings that you're feeling. Ask yourself, why am I feeling that way? That's the thought. And really look at that and ask yourself, is there anything in here that's not serving me? Is there something that's just not settling well with me? That's a really great circumstance, a really great thought, or a really great feeling to plug into an unintentional model. So the first component of self-coaching is a thought download. The second component of self-coaching is an unintentional model. Now, what an unintentional model does is it separates story from fact. It separates drama from data. It is really a tool to heighten your awareness of why you're getting the current result that you're getting, why you're getting the current experience that you're having. It's a great tool to heighten your awareness, but that's all it is. It's a way for you to come to the realization that it's a thought that is ultimately driving your current result, your current experience. And then the third part is the unintentional model and the intentional model. Now, the intentional model is once you recognize that you are driving your results, then you are going to want to take control and ask yourself, how else could I think about this circumstance? So I did up a quick unintentional model for you, and then I'll move to the intentional model. But the circumstance is always neutral. So if you go down to the next question, the model is made up of 5 components. The first component is a circumstance. Now, a circumstance is just very neutral. It's a fact. It's something that exists outside of us. It's something that we don't have control over most of the time. It could be another person. It can be something that somebody said. It can be data. It can be a number on a scale. It can be a number in your bank account. It can be the day of the week. It could be anything outside of you. Okay. So it's a fact. It's something that exists outside of us. So I'm just going to put in the circumstance line, the 4-month program, the Stop Overeating 4-month program. Now, this is the unintentional model. I want you to ask yourself, what kind of thought do I have about the 4-month program? Now, some people can't quite come up with the thought right out of the gate, and that includes me. So I like to start on the F line. I ask myself, how am I feeling about the 4-month program? Now, this is an unintentional model. It's meant to just heighten my awareness of how I'm driving my current results. So I might be thinking, you know what? I can do all this myself. That might be a thought that you're having right now. How does that thought make you feel? It might make you feel complacent. And when you're feeling complacent, I want you to ask yourself, how do you show up? What do you do? What do you not do? What's going on in your mind? Again, this is the unintentional model, and it's meant to just heighten your awareness of why you're getting your current result. So we start off with the very neutral circumstance of 4-month program. Now, what story am I telling myself about that? That's the thought. I can do this myself. Now, how does that thought make you feel? And be really honest. That thought might make you feel complacent, maybe at peace, maybe very neutral, maybe indifferent. But then you have to ask yourself, when I'm feeling that way, how do I show up? What do I do? What do I not do? What goes on in my mind? So I might not prioritize. If I'm feeling complacent about this program, I might not prioritize myself. I don't gather any more information when I'm feeling complacent. I don't make a decision. I certainly don't make a commitment when I'm feeling complacent. And I don't start. And then you ask yourself, okay, so when I do these things, when I show up in this way, what do I create for myself? And I stay by myself, and I stay in the same exact place, right? Because when you're thinking I can do it myself, you stay exactly where you're at right now by yourself. Your thought manifests into your result, into your R line every time. And this is the perfect model that I can say with a whole lot of conviction, because that used to be my thought. I can do this myself. I thought of myself as a successful business person. I thought of myself as raising 2 awesome kids. I thought of myself as being successful in a lot of other areas of my life that surely I could figure out how to lose weight. And I'll tell you what, that thought took up so much space for so many years that I stayed in this place. That's the result that I just kept getting over and over and over until I learned how to self-coach, until I saw this for what it was. Like, the unintentional model showed me why I was getting this result. It's not meant to shame you. It's meant to inform you. Okay, so circumstances are neutral. The thought is the story that you're telling yourself about that circumstance. Feelings are just a vibration. It starts in your brain and runs through your body. That's all a feeling is. I'll tell you what, we are so afraid of feelings, but one of the most moving components of my program is teaching people that feelings, all they are is a vibration. They are really nothing to be scared of. There is no feeling that's going to take you down. There isn't. Like, if you think about what's the worst feeling out there, humiliation, grieving over loss, none of those kill you. The minute you become willing to allow feelings to be there, it changes everything. So when I was willing to be afraid, when I was willing to be humiliated, when I was willing to fail, it's crazy how my life cracked wide open. So that's all a feeling is. It's just an emotion. It's a vibration that starts in your mind, and then it's a vibration that runs through your body. And then we get to the actions. The actions are how you show up. It's how you behave. It's what you do. It's what you don't do. It can be an inaction. It can be a reaction. That's what the actions are. And then the result is simply what you create for yourself. Okay? So this stays the exact same no matter if you're working on an unintentional model or an intentional model. I can't take a picture. I'm so used to doing this with my clients. And then once we get the unintentional model and we've really heightened our awareness, I love to take a picture of it and then to text it to them and be like, don't forget, this is the model that you've been living out. It's been lived out very unintentionally. There's no shame. It's just meant to heighten your awareness. That's so powerful. But then we move to the intentional model, which is even more powerful. And I'll show you exactly how that works. So the circumstance always stays the same, okay? But you can ask yourself, how do I want to feel about this 4-month program? What is the thought that really makes me feel something that I want to feel? Maybe I want to feel like it's possible. It might be the one thing that I haven't yet tried. It might be the missing component that has never been taught to me. Right? So you can shift to 4-month program. That's your circumstance. It's neutral. I like to start on the feeling line because I am way more in touch with my feelings sometimes than I am my thought. How do I want to feel about this program? I want to feel like it's possible. And that's an easy thought to come up with to generate that feeling. But here's the deal, you guys. The thought has to be believable. Has to be believable. Otherwise, it'll never generate this thought or this feeling for you. So what this isn't, it's not the practice of negative thinking to positive thinking. That's not it at all. The unintentional model heightens your awareness. The intentional model creates a new result for you only because you find a believable thought. You find an alternative thought. That's how this works. So what's a believable thought about the 4-month program that you can choose? There's so many thoughts that you can choose. And most people don't even know that their thoughts are a choice, which is crazy. It's a choice. We can be intentional about it. But what if I choose to think it's possible that this is the one thing I've been missing? How does that make you feel when you think the thought, it's possible that this is the one thing that has kept me from being at my natural weight my entire life? Just not having this information. That might make you feel confident. That might make you feel curious. That might make you feel empowered. And when you're feeling any of those things, then how do you show up? You probably show up by asking questions. You start to practice that thought. You start to live in possibility. So practice the new thought. You maybe talk it over with your BFF or your spouse. And when you think it's possible that this is the one thing I've been missing, and you go out and you collect information by asking questions, by doing your own research, you then feel so much more equipped to make a decision. And then when you do these things, you show up this way, you ask questions, you practice this new thought, you talk it over with your closest allies, and you make a decision. What does that create for you? That creates that this is the one thing that you've been missing. That possibility like turned into a really high probability. I want you to ask yourself, now that I'm aware of what my next steps are, what do I need to do? So what falls into my A line? If I'm feeling aware now, I have this heightened sense of awareness. Now, what does my A line look like? What are the actions that I do? I make a decision. I'll tell you what, you guys, when you're in indecision, it feels very chaotic. It feels like you're out of control. I tell my clients all the time, when they come to me and say, I feel out of control, the very quickest way to gain back control is make a decision. Make a decision. And it doesn't have to be like this life-changing, total shattering type decision. It can just say, you know what? I'm going to make the decision to collect more information. Like that's a step in the right direction. That's an action that is going to be super meaningful. And then the second step is you create change. Now that you're aware, then you make a decision and you create change, which is so cool. Otherwise, what's the alternative? You stay in the same place. So you create change. I have 15 people who just finished 6 weeks of the fat adapted portion of the program. They went through the intensive part of the program, and now they're moving into the mastery part of the program. Those 15 people lost, on average, 19 pounds. 19 pounds in 6 weeks. Isn't that phenomenal? That means that you would be the possibility, the probability of you losing 19 pounds in 6 weeks, being there before Thanksgiving, is very, very high. But that's not even the best part of it. Like what really fires me up is the new mentality that you will have going into the holidays. It's everything. I know, because I know so many of you are like me, you go into the holidays with a certain amount of dread, with a certain amount of worry. Am I going to be able to stick to the diet this time? Am I going to be able to fit into my clothes? What am I going to be able to make that I can eat? What are people going to say? What am I going to say when they ask me about what I'm doing? Right? I totally get all that because I was there. But the cool thing is all of that is completely extinguished because you gain a new mentality from this program, and you gain it fast. You lose the weight fast, which is awesome, but you gain a mentality very fast, which is even more awesome because it has an effect on every other part of your life. So I want you guys to make a list of all of the attempts that you've had at losing weight. So you can put down maybe a time, you can maybe put down an actual program, but I want you to make a list of all of the things that you've tried. And it's not to shame you. It's not to feel bad about maybe the money that you've spent. It's really to shine a light on it so that shame cannot exist. That's huge, you guys. Huge. Write it down. I want you to write down what programs, maybe what periods of time you've engaged in attempts to lose weight. And then I want you to remind yourself that those are all things you've learned from. All of those things have got you to where you're at today, which is exactly where you're supposed to be. I want you to celebrate all of those attempts because it has got you here today. Super meaningful. So mine looks like Weight Watchers. I know a lot of you have tried Noom, Optavia, fasting. Maybe you tried fasting, but you didn't try choosing food that fuels you. Maybe you tried food that fuels you, but you didn't try fasting. I'm quite sure most of you have never incorporated self-coaching. But if you have, put that down there too. Because every attempt has got you to where you're at today. And once you've got that list completed, I want you to practice the thought that it's possible that I may have just stumbled on the program that will change my life. I want you to really consider that and how powerful that is. And I'm only saying that because I know these 3 pillars are what changed my life. They changed the 15 people's lives that just finished the first 6 weeks. It's changing the lives of the people who just started the last 4 weeks. It changed my husband's life. It changed both my kids' lives. It's going to change millions of people's lives. I'm completely 100% convicted in that. It's possible. High probability. My husband just told me last night, he's like, I cannot believe the stats that come out of this. High probability. And what gets me excited is that it's so comprehensive. It completely changes every area of your life. So I want you to now, on a scale of 1 to 10, I want to know what your level of commitment is to getting to your natural weight. I want you to think about, by trying something new that finally includes the missing link, which is a big mentality component, that this might be the sustainable information that I needed. Because it really creates sustainable, lifelong results. But I want to know, on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your commitment right now to getting to your natural weight? Okay, the next page, how to pull it all together. So we talked about why you haven't been able to lose the weight until now. We've talked about protocols and how we incorporate food for fuel and how we incorporate fasting, extending the time in between our meals so that our insulin has time to balance out. We've talked about how important it is to collect data so that we can make informed decisions. Make all your decisions based on data, you guys, not drama. It doesn't do you any good. Everything should be based on data, okay? So I teach you how to do that. And then most importantly, how to self-coach. So those are the 3 pillars. That's how you pull it together. Now, if you can do this on your own, I say, God bless you. I want to know about your results. There are people who have done it for sure. But if you want a handheld approach, a very intense, but yet convenient in regards to time, a coach that's very accessible to answer all of your questions. If that's what you're looking for, the next program starts next Wednesday, October 14th. The first live call is at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Prior to that, you'll get your welcome letter. You'll get what the next steps are so that you can start educating yourself like right now. And it includes an 8-week intensive that gets you fat adapted fast. It'll get you fat adapted by December 9th. And remember, it's possible, it's probable to have 20 pounds, almost 20 pounds gone by Thanksgiving. I mean, isn't that crazy? But that's what these last 15 people on average did. And then the next 8 weeks, that takes you to February 17th, that's where you start mastering the model so that we not only get you to your short-term weight loss goals, then we keep our finger on the pulse of your long-term weight loss goals, which is really cool. But then we say, okay, what else? We get really clear about now what. I want you to realize that now that you're not distracted by your weight, now that you don't have that energy suck happening anymore, you are going to have a level of awareness of what's possible in every other area of your life. And that's where it gets really cool, because I can start helping you apply the model to those things. Because the more vehicles that you can apply this to, the more you're going to master it. Okay, so what will it cost me to join? $3,000. And right now for this program, I allow you to invite a family member so that it doubles your value, so that you have built-in support, so that we can exponentially get the word out there. So your homework for today is message me on a scale of 1 to 10. Where are you right now? What is keeping you from a 10? So it's kind of a 2-part question. Where are you at on a scale of 1 to 10? Where are you in regards to your commitment to getting to your natural weight? What would it take for you to get to a 10? That's a really, really good question to ask yourself. So if you turn to the next page, you'll see an exercise. It's your first thought download. This might be something that you're going to want to someday frame because it'll be so meaningful to you. I'm just kidding. You're not going to want to frame a thought download. But so the question, though, that I want you to answer is, what do I need to get me to a 10? Some people are going to say confidence. Okay. Some people are going to say, I need the support. You know, I teach you how to take responsibility for your results. I teach you, and I'm saying this with a lot of kindness, I teach you how to stop placing blame on things outside of you. So if you're somebody who has not started changing your life because you don't have support, I'm telling you in the most kind way, you have to have your own back. You have to have enough self-love for yourself that extinguishes that desire. And I will tell you, this is something I work on every single day because we're human. Our primitive brain is trying to keep us safe. So it takes practice to recognize that you have this desire for outside affirmation, for recognition, for somebody to tell you, I know this is hard. You guys, I teach you how to have your own back. So that is no longer something that's going to hold you back. Maybe it's time. Maybe you could write down the number 10. You'd be committed if you knew you had the time. I'll also teach you how to prioritize yourself, because that will have an effect on every other aspect of your life. If you're busy because you maybe are caring for an aging parent, or You have kids at home that are being homeschooled, or both. Maybe you have a full-time job that is absolutely overwhelming you. I will teach you how to prioritize yourself so that it has an effect on all of those other things. Because all of those things that I just rattled off, if those are coming to mind, those are thoughts. Thoughts are a choice. Maybe it's money. Maybe if you had the $3,000, that's where you'd get to the number 10. And I'll tell you what it would take and what it took for me, again, was prioritizing. It was prioritizing some of the material, more frivolous things that I maybe had to wait on. And I'm telling you that I had that obstacle more than 10 times the amount of $3,000, because I invested in myself to get certified as a life and weight loss coach. I have a coach of my own. I know what it means to invest in yourself. So I don't take that lightly, but I will tell you, by investing in yourself, it will pay dividends on every other area of your life. So I'm not trying to downplay the amount of money. I'm not. But do I believe that it's worth every penny times 10? No doubt about it. So I also want you to do a little exercise on what will it cost you not to join. And I'm at the risk of sounding dramatic. It might cost you years off of your life, to be quite blunt, because this will lower your risk of heart disease. It will eliminate a lot of the physical and a lot of the emotional pain. It will decrease your risk for cancer and Alzheimer's and a whole lot of other chronic diseases. I would say that that's a really big price to pay. It might cost you more energy. You might spend a ton of time. I almost swore there. You can tell I'm really passionate about this. It might cost you a ton of time playing small, feeling tired, feeling embarrassed, feeling defeated, feeling like you need to continue to punish yourself. It might cost you more money because you might just opt into the next big diet trend. And you might be looking for like that easy button. It's going to cost you time and energy for sure. Might cost you relationships. There might be relationships out there that you don't have the confidence to even pursue right now. Who knows? Who knows what it's going to cost you? But I want you to really think about it. Maybe it's going to cost you the opportunity to model good behavior for your children. It's so important. If we don't start showing our children how to take responsibility for their results, they are going to continue to contribute to a world that just places blame. I want you to be able to model different kinds of behaviors for these next generations. And some of the silly things that it might cost you that new purse, might cost you a few material objects, because those are the things that you might need to redirect your funds from so that you can invest in yourself, which is so much more important. But every single time you look at a material object and you think, that's what I need right now, you're playing small. That is fear driving your result 100%. And I know that that's hard to hear, but that's the truth. Okay, so what we just went through is truly the 10,000-foot view of the Stop Overeating 4-month program. So you now have like this running head start to get even bigger, even faster results. The first half of that 8-week intensive is what I would call like a mini sprint to get you fat adapted. That's what we focus on. That has the possibility, and now I know the probability of you losing 10 to 20 pounds before the holidays, which is kind of cool. It's a fast win, but the real value is how comprehensive the program is. It changes your life because you learn how to feel in control of everything, not just your weight. Your weight right now is a distraction. It's an energy suck. So for the next couple days, I am going to kind of, as a bonus, I guess, I am going to share with you some client stories. And they are super inspiring. They are nothing short of extraordinary. But I will say they are real people who 4 to 6 weeks ago, they were exactly where you are right now. I cannot wait for you to meet them. But as a word of caution, do not wait. If you already know you want one of the 30 spots for this program that starts on Wednesday, do not wait to see all of their stories. You will be inspired by them, no doubt, but I do not want you to miss one of those 30 spots and have to wait until next year to get started. So that's just my little word of caution. I am going to drop the link below for the program. And I'm going to quickly look at any comments. Late but finally here. I'm one of those 15 people she's talking about. I am too. It's been life-changing. I've tried it all. Takes all the puzzle pieces and helps put them together. And I remember, Kim, on our call where you specifically told me, and actually as I was building out today what I was talking about, I thought about you because you said, I think I know what to do. I feel like I have all the pieces. And what I told you is, how come they're not put together? I'm going to help you put those pieces together. That's why at the very beginning of this, you guys, I said it's all about precision. So thanks, Kim, for saying that. It's crazy how good of a deal this is, especially with the life coaching aspect of it. Yeah, and I think I might have mentioned that yesterday, and it's not something that I talk a lot about because I really focus on the result that you're coming to me for. In regards to a marketing standpoint, I talk a lot about losing the weight, balancing the hormones, and all of the side benefits. I don't talk about the value of life coaching, which I should, because I have my own life coach. I know how expensive, but how important it is. It's crazy important. It's crazy life-changing. And what you get in this program is you get to understand how to get to your natural weight and stay there for the rest of your life. And you get life coaching for 4 months. That's what's going to get you all these other results that you don't even have on your radar right now because you're so distracted by the weight. So yeah, do I believe it's a crazy good deal? I do. But I also, with that, say I understand how much money $3,000 is. But I also believe that you are worth it. And I do believe it will have an exponential return on the investment. But that has to be your belief. You've got to put 4-month program in your C line. You've got to ask yourself, how do I want to feel about it? Do I want to feel confident? Do I want to feel curious? Do I want to feel empowered? How do you want to feel? And then what thought do you need to have? And a thought turns into a belief by practicing it. And believe me, you have all sorts of beliefs that are well-driven neural pathways because they've been practiced for years. So it doesn't happen overnight, but it can start today. And the one that I love is it might be possible. Like if you have been stuck for a really long time because you've been thinking, I can't do it. I have failed so many times. I want you to think in terms of possibility. It's possible. because that's so believable, you guys. And I'll tell you, highly, highly probable when you have a coach that comes alongside of you that is so invested in your results, that is very accessible, the probability is really high, but you might only be able to work on possibility right now. But I promise you, that thought of it's possible makes you feel different, right? Check your work on that. Think the thought and ask yourself, how does that make me feel? This is how we live out our life every single day. 60,000 times a day. We just live our life out in models. And when you understand this architecture, everything changes. You all of a sudden have all the control. So it's a beautiful thing. I'm obviously very passionate about it. I can sit here and talk for days, and I know I'm way over time. So I will just say thank you so much for being here. I will look forward to adding all of these amazing women, some men who have had extraordinary results physically, emotionally, and mentally. I look forward to sharing their stories with you. I look forward to getting to know you better if this is the right choice for you. We kick off on Wednesday. I'm going to put the link again in the Facebook group. And like I said, don't be afraid to reach out to me if you have any questions, anything that I haven't answered for you. But thank you so much for your time. I know your time is valuable, and I don't take that lightly. Talk to you soon.